Oh, I just realised as well, I didn't even hit go on. I didn't even hit go live on YouTube. Never mind. They're working out now. They won't know any different. Okay, so let's get in Dune. The only thing is Dune has. I have to play on a different screen at the moment because like that game just seems to crash OBS every time I try and mess around with any graphic settings. So I have to play it off the screen that it will start on, which is my main screen, because dumbass Funcom don't put proper graphics stuff into their game, so you can't tell it what actual monitor to work off. The only thing I'm going to have to do is, because this will be expecting a different game in this UI, so I'm going to temporarily alter it. Well, actually, rather than alter it, because I don't really want to alter it. That means I have to alter it back later. I'll just create a temporary one. Go. Yeah, it's behind some other stuff at the moment. It's probably good actually do keep it in front of most things, like especially the UI.
I dream of it,
but I can put
amongst the wild threads of history and the myriad of paths.
So there, I've got a little bit of something normal. But yeah, I'm not going to put any of the UI in front of it because obviously we're playing Dune, and the UI is meant for GTA.
Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of the human mind.
I had set up all my controls for GTA.
With that
so
commandment,
now I just need to switch the
new avenues of human potential were explored. Mentats, Sook Doctors, Sword Masters, and the mystical Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. But it was the Navigators and their monopoly on space travel that set the conditions for the Imperium. But I am telling you,
hey, people on Facebook, don't worry, I am sorting you out as well.
The one you do not.
Oh, Twitch as well.
In this other
God, this is a thing.
My mother, Lady
It's because I have so many like
to Duke Leto Atreides, gave birth to a daughter.
In streaming terms, you call these canvases, but they're like setups for each different thing, and they don't all just come off the same one. So it's got like multiple.
To the Bene Gesserit, Lady Jessica is trained as a truth-sayer. Because of that training, Lady Jessica was able to detect Dr. Yue's deception. Because of the forewarning of his betrayal, House Atreides survived the Battle of Arrakeen. Because of their survival, the Emperor declared a full-scale war of assassins. Because of the war, the Sardaukar were deployed to ensure spy shipments continued without interruption. Because of the Sardaukar, the Fremen were eradicated. There was no Muad'Dib, no Lisan al-Gaib, no Kwisatz Haderach.
It's not really perfect, but
Paul Atreides, was never born.
I think like I got some movie to see.
All my visions lead to horror, except this one.
Like this one on the fly changes, mate. So apologise for the roughness of this at the moment, but we will get in the game momentarily. Like I could have done an EVE Online one really, because there's tons of stuff going on in EVE at the moment, and like literally just before the stream came from EVE. But I know E's not for everyone, and it's not one of the games I normally do during the week. At least during the scheduled streams. So the scheduled streams, I'd rather, if I was going to replace one of the scheduled streams on a stream, I'd rather do it with one of the ones that are normally scheduled throughout the week. That should work. So, just need to get another one sorted. Just need to get to studio mode so I don't start changing things I don't want to change. Okay, Twitch. There we go. There's you sorted too. Just need to switch that around. Oh, basically just put that like that, so that you don't see the GTA. There we go. Switch that back. Take back off that. Okay, I think everyone can now see Dune Awakening. So, on the fly changes. That's what we love. Okay. Who says I'm not flexible? I do have a timer as well, which I'm going to start, but you're not going to see the timer until tomorrow because I really can't remember what I'm setting that up on my profile that should be running Doom. Just find the timer and start it. But so far, we're on about 11 hours and 9 seconds. Well, 9 seconds, 9 minutes. 11 hours, 9 minutes we're on at the moment of time that we've spent in order to recover from our wipe last Tuesday. Now, obviously tonight we also need to take down the base. But before we take down the base, I do want to go out and do just another spice mine and then refine all that stuff. So that's what we'll do now. I was planning to do this like really late tonight, like probably off stream, before I take down the base, but I'm actually we'll now do it on stream, why not? In a kind of scheduled but unscheduled day for Dune. So welcome to Dune. So the parts I haven't streamed yet, but I did still add the time onto, is we've built now the medium spice refiner, and I rebuilt this one back as well because I got the spice back that I needed for doing that, and we put plenty of water in the system. What we had done, looks like 2 of them have dropped, so I'll just get another body assuming I think I have at least a couple more bodies left. Just and we'll put those in the system, although probably I'm not going to have to put them in, maybe, just thought. Probably going to say insufficient water, yeah, so I ain't going to be able to drop them in, so I'm going to put it back. Slight oversight. One thing I'll do though is put the body in here. I'll go and get the other one that is salt on the cups as well and put them in here. And one other thing I'll do, which I've just thought of, let's change that music, because at the moment I'm playing GTA music, because obviously I was going to be playing GTA, but we're not playing GTA, so this music sounds really damn weird playing dude. That's better. Play some Assassin's Creed, more kind of in line with Dune. So let's get changed, I guess, and get all this stuff off. sword. I'll need the water. Got that. Need that. I'll keep that stuff there. The switcheroo. All these things. We'll take some of them, why not? Just frees up a bit more space to put stuff in. Use that in. Oh yeah, I should change to live so I can see chat. I can't see chat for like Twitch because I have it on my phone just below me. But multi-chat, which is across all of the platforms, is in OBS. It is in a weird place though because I can't be bothered rejigging the whole of OBS for it to show closer to where I'm playing. So I do apologise if I don't see your message straight away. I will respond eventually. Maybe not straight away.
Weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
One thing I have got is I have got a thing like a ding. So every time you send a message, I should get a ding. One thing I've noticed though, I don't hear that ding, so I've just actually turned the volume up on that because it's quite annoying. Where I've not heard the ding to tell me that someone sent a message, and yeah, I've kind of carried on and then noticed it after, expecting to hear a ding, still yet to hear it. It's probably because I do turn the volume down a bit because obviously the music's going on and stuff like that, and I've not actually heard this ding, so I really need to hear out for this ding so I know when it happens. And I can't type because as soon as I type it won't ding, it only dings for other people. Okay, so I've got everything I need. I've got enough water, but I will top up the water just to make sure we've got enough while we're out there and we don't run out. Won't probably be enough to get that water started. Well, they both have to drop, so... Well, at least one of them would have to drop, I guess. Actually, that might be enough for that other one to start, or for them both to start. If it does, then we'll quickly go whack some bodies in. They won't finish, but yeah, they are processing, so we'll go and grab some bodies because that means that we can get them processing that, put them back in the thing anyway. While they won't finish, they'll like that other one looks like they've like 35 minutes or something like that. So these will get down, and they will pause processing about halfway through their process, but that's still better than having to wait the full time. Sweet. Let's get going then. So we'll go find some spice on ours and get going. I just need to remind myself where the fields are. Hopefully that a field more closer to where we are is available rather than having to go right to the other side like we had to on Saturday. So D9 and D6, there's supposed to be some spice sand fields in. So if we go to, let's go to D9 first, because if we go to D9, then we can go right across D all the way to 3, because I think it was 3 that we did it in on Sunday or Saturday, whatever day it was that we did spice mining, spice harvesting. I can always call it mining, it's harvesting. But yeah, we'll have a look up there. So we're going for grids out and then like right against the wall sort of thing. Or whatever. Battery. We don't really have half kind of fuel there, so the thing is with the worm coming quite a bit, we'll probably burn through that quite fast. It's probably a good idea we have a large fuel cell with us. We don't have any batteries available. Buggy. Oh, I've got. Oh, there is the large. I think I've put a large one in here. Do we not have one in there either? Oh. I rarely have to go out in the buggy to get some batteries. No large cell in there. I must have taken it back to the base. Okay. We just have to go into the out in the buggy a second and go and get some batteries, which we'll just get from literally one node, which I think was one just not far outside our doorstep. They had, I think, rightly. That's got it. I stopped right by the battery and then it threw me against the wall. Weird. No power. Oh. Can I just turn it on or not? No. Just turn this off probably. Yeah. Turn this off. Can't lose the power we need hopefully. I think they're about the same power as each other. Yeah. Within the tolerance. So make one of these. And then we can go out. Battery in here. Trying to put things in slots that I normally tend to use for things, because if I don't, I'm investing in something that I think that'll happen. That's usually because I put things in a different slot than I'm used to them being in. We're heading out, pretty much. Yeah. I think if we aim for there, which is the centre, then we should either see some sand. By sand, not being obviously there's sand everywhere, but spice sand. We should see some spice sand, or we won't. Oh, that looks like a storm, and it's going past us. This is the thing with storms. If you're not in the sector where the storm's going through, you won't get any warning sign of it. And we're obviously navigating across where, you know, the kind of, because they normally go left to right or right to left. So it means that we're crossing those different kind of polling areas. so we could quite easily walk or go into a storm when we're moving from sector to sector. So we're in sector C now. That's probably spanning E. Well, that's probably going to E. I think that's quite far away actually. Further away than you'd think. One thing with it not being the weekend is, and us being on an American server, there's not going to be many people around. Not normally anyway. To be fair, like, it's got busier during the weekends, a lot busier than it used to be. Check the numbers and see whether like population is starting to come back to Doom. But I don't suspect it is. I think it's just that I really have been maybe unlucky, or maybe people have just been on holiday, or whatever's happened. But yeah, things definitely feel like more busier than they have done in a long time. Can we see any fights down? So it should be a medium here, which you should be able to spot quite easy. Oh, that is. So it's smaller. Oh, yeah. That small is better than one. And it gets us started, I guess. Right in the bottom of it. Like it's fair on the flat ground, but I also don't like it when it's right at the bottom of a thing like this, because you can't see the worms. So where they're coming from when they do come. Hopefully I'm not taking too much risks away, because recently have had quite a lot of crashes. Game crashes, like the streaming software is one thing, but the game crashing a lot, that has been quite unusual, because while I've had a lot of problems with the anti-cheat software, it hasn't had that many issues with like crashes until very recently. So I don't know how disturbed I should be from the crashes, and whether I should be doing something like this, which is very risky if the game just crashes at any point whilst I'm out in the deep desert spice mining, where there are worms that will eat you and you will lose all your stuff. But I'm a risk taker, so I'm okay flying. pretty much cleared the field. I'm just getting literally scrapped because well, not few worms around. There's that few fields around that we may as well try and get every little speck we can from here, just in case we don't find anything else. Like, other than licking the sand, like, I think we've pretty much done as much as we can there. So we may as well fly west now, and yeah, we'll see whether we can see anything at the other places. There should be D6 and 3, according to my intelligence. Hopefully they're bigger than medium, or bigger than sports. I'm not sure if they've started randomizing it. Maybe that's why the intel is off. Like, before it used to be that you'd always have a medium spawn spot, but it could be that they've actually started to randomize it now. I'm not sure whether that is definitely a thing. I've not heard of that, but I don't keep my ear close to the info and news stuff on this that much as I used to in Doom, which I should start doing now that I am playing more of it. Spice fields. The elusive spice fields. If only the worms were as elusive as the spice fields. That would be a lot easier. Crash ship. Giveaway crash ships. I used to love crash ships up until one bloody hit me. That wasted, what, 5 hours to recover from a crash ship hitting my own character, and then causing a chain of events that led to me getting eaten by a worm. I haven't even seen any blowouts. To be fair, the other ones come out. Is that blowout head? Oh, there was a blowout head, I think. I'd say it was an either. Because it's further off our current direction and we're heading directly across D now, so that far out, I'd say it's at least D. Which I wouldn't want to do with my assault helicopter. I don't mind going out to do it. Let's change. Oh no, that was not. You know, one thing I should have bought as well. I just thought, but I actually thought about it before I actually took all that. And that was to bring out my scout or a copy with me, just in case what happened on Saturday happened again. My lesson from that was make sure you always have a preloaded ornithopter in your back pocket, because if you don't, and your current one gets destroyed, you're a bit screwed trying to recover your other one. I think it was like out here or thereabouts where we did it last time. Just wondering whether or not, because we've already gone past where we technically would have seen a field before. That blowout I seen was that blowout, or is that like a really far in the way mountain? Where we got the last medium kill, and see if there's any good kill there. There should be something that spawns on the same spot each time. Look, we haven't been zigzagging all the way across everywhere, so as far over as we went was actually where the field was. So where we could see that area being cleared is where that other one was. So it gives us a good indication where we should head. We might see one, the same one that we seen, or if we were harvesting it the same way. Ooh, there's one of those shipwreck down things. I watched back the footage actually from that ship hitting us, and there was something I actually didn't notice actually while I was playing at the time, but I actually did see the ship quite a far away off when we were flying. So there was actually a warning sign already that we just got past it. I think it was on that hill there, just here. That's where it's supposed to be. Where our field was, because I recognise the layout of the bumps. Our spy sign was right in the middle of the It doesn't look like a spice field area today. Or at least right now. Back. Oh, that is my field. I see a space field. Flies like a hawk in this game. Also, it'd be very good at seeing different shades of purple, because I'll tell you what, I don't know how I spotted that. Although sometimes when I watch the video replays and I watch myself play back the game, I'm like, how did I not see that? It's easy kind of like looking back in retrospective, but yeah, sometimes I analyse my gameplay, and sometimes I look at it and go, how did I not spot that? Like it was right in front, almost right in front of me, or it wasn't quite right in front of me. It was out my field of vision, but at the same time, I should have seen it. And it really annoys me when I see something like that, and I'm looking for something, and I'm like, I can see it. Obviously, I can't tell myself that. Okay, we've got one, and it's not been touched, so it's all ours, baby. It's relatively fat. It's as fat as you get. Yeah, unless you're actually on one of the big fields, which is completely flat. And the sun's coming out just in time for us to start harvesting. I do prefer the evening because you don't have to worry about sunburn. Already? Oh, because I've probably never emptied the other stand. Like how? We've not even been doing much. Moa beep. I think we can catch him and have him alive, Moa beep. If you actually have the like I think it was beta access, you got hold of that MMORPG as part of your kind of beta access kind of perk, I guess, or reward. But I didn't do Dune Awakening beta, so didn't get it. But a number of people, you can get like a kind of pet thing of MMORPG and have it in your base. I really hope that at some point maybe make it available again. Like, you do tend to find that a lot of games do that. They'll bring something out and say, this is just for such and such. And then later on, that will open up and you'll be highly disappointed, or at least if you're a part of that, because you're thinking you're getting something really exclusive that is a limited time only thing. Only to find out that they'll change their minds, and it, from being only available for some people, it becomes available again for everyone. So your kind of exclusive thing that you have, that you think, yeah, I've got something no one else can have, ends up everyone has it. Much later in the game as well. Like, some things I think they should keep OG. Like, as much as I would love to have one, I think that's probably one of those things that they should OG and keep it only to the originals. I'm assuming with the way that the Twitch drops work, that you know, the stuff that you get from the observer packs is kind of like one of those things. I'm going past. Disturbing me. So it's just still very light. Making big enough mounds though to be worth it. Like 7, it's not much, but if you're trying to bleed the face dry. Storm. I'm assuming there's a storm warning out. The one thing with the deep desert as well is storm warnings that you'll get are very different to the ones you get in Haga Basin. So the storm warnings you get in Haga Basin, they tell you of something that's, you know, imminent and will be with you if no longer than like 2 or 5 minutes. Like, I'm pretty sure the longest time limit you'll be told is 2 minutes. Where out here, it could be like 10 or 15 minutes away. Like, no joke. Because the desert is so fast, if it's starting at the opposite end of the deep desert, and because of the speed it moves, which isn't very fast to be fair, then it can take a long time for it to get from one side of the deep desert to the other. But you'll get the warning as soon as it's been developed. So if you're on the side where it's coming from, but you're on or the opposite side of where it's coming from, then essentially you could be waiting a long time for it to come, and it doesn't tell you like when it's going to be there. It'll just say it's coming soon. Oh no, that's a... I thought it was a worm, but it's not. It's something. It's one of the blowouts. Well, I think what I was actually looking out for before, if we were getting to a point where we weren't finding anything, then it would have been a case of having to wait on the wall somewhere to watch to see if we could see a blowout. Worms just got that. Usually you see one that close, it'll start aggroing quite easy. Like, I'm not sure if you're supposed to stop when you see a worm that close. Will that help it not aggro? Like, up till now I've just continued to harvest, create the aggro, because I'm just like, well, if it's going to aggro, it's going to aggro, but maybe if you see it close by, you should stop. Expecting it to like come by now, but it hasn't. It's been very slower. It's been like one flash and then that's the last one. In and out, quickly flash towards us. I wonder whether or not it's going to jump out the sun. Jump at you. How high do you have to be? I do not know. Not extremely high though, because when I was trying to avoid the worm the other day, when I was like almost escaping, I did, on the 2 times I did get away from it, I wasn't a huge amount of like space above the sand really. It was more the fact that I think there I was just trying to dodge it, so it was going one direction and I managed to dodge it because I seen it go past me just one time, and the other time I was just like really high above it. Fortunately, I put the owner-copter right there. Now this, it's very actually awkward putting the harvester, rather than putting the owner-copter too close. Like, it gives you safety, but at the expense of awkwardness trying to get to what you just harvested. All look through water out here. I have to keep reminding myself to keep checking the water sometimes, because so you got, like, when you're in the sunburn zone, it's that red marker above. It's indicating that I've got past the tolerance that I can handle the heat to a certain degree. It's like a sunstroke, a period. Thank you very much, Blinko Wells. I do try to remember. It's just when you're going along, and this is why I like the evening more, because you don't have to think about drinking water as much. And if I only played Dune, it would be a lot easier. But because I play other games as well, I always have to remember when I come back to Dune. Yes, drink water. treat this like it is me, and I do get thirsty. But the only problem with that is I do drink in real life, obviously, but even when I go to the gym, I'm not there drinking a bottle of water every 2 seconds like you see a lot of people do in the gym. So I treat my character almost probably like I do myself. Lean on the water. Do you play Dune Awakening yourself? They may have gone. I didn't respond fast enough. To be fair, I still didn't hear the ping. It should ping when someone speaks. And it didn't ping. Drop. Store. Do all the edgy stuff now. Got there quickly. Shallow's gonna get me. They're almost on the spike, so I think obviously easier. Like there is a very light area around there, but believe me that there'll probably be about 1 unit in that. Unless you're that desperate and you need every gram. One of the reasons why. How quick did you do it outright on your helicopter? Those tell the fast ones, because by the time I start getting up in the air, I'll be back on the ground. They're slowly drifting towards us. Taking his time. I've got a day, mate. Get your stuff and go. I think the only really advantage I can see of the way I'm covering is it does give you the opportunity to move your oligotter each time, so you keep it relatively close to where you're harvesting, but very much more benefit to it. There's zero benefit to it. We're at that weird time of night as well now where it's kind of blue in the sky and it makes the sand, all the sand, look a bit kind of tinty blue anyway, or have a weird colour on it, so it gets harder and harder to actually see where the spice sand is against the normal sand. And today, I normally have a enhanced filter on the game, so when you see it, you see more vibrant colours. However, because I've set this up as a temporary thing, obviously because the problems we have today with trying to get GTA going, you don't see any of that vibrantness. So when you'd normally see one of those streams, you would see the actual spice sand and it would appear a lot more obvious where it is. But it's obviously a lot more duller for me because I don't play with that enhanced colour spectrum that you get on the streams to kind of give it a bit of cinematic effect in some ways, but it's just there to enhance the viewing experience, as they say. I suppose it's like an actor turning around and saying like, what you see on the in the film, I see a green screen. It's not that extreme, like I still see it on like the actor with the green screen, but at the same time it's a different experience for you guys than it is for me. Halfway there, but I missed that. Oh, we missed it. That's what I mean. You can quite easily miss patches here because it's just when you're here doing it, you're just like, oh yeah, that looks done. It's only when you look at almost from another angle you'll spot it. But like above, you can see it more clearly. I don't think there's like any. Apart from the very, very edges, where it's a little bit light. But like I said, I'm not too worried about that just because they're grams normally that far out anyway, so you'd get a little bit, but not anything where. Nothing that you would actually get. Like, you're not going to be able to like do an extra run of harvesting or, you know, another refinement run from it, so I wouldn't be too concerned with how little you'll get from it. Like, these are quite big piles. If you go and do that stuff, you'll get probably like the smallest pile you can get. riveting stuff, this. It would be better if I knew I was doing this and refining it in a large spice refiner. I get kind of more mortified by the fact that I'm using a medium, which has the efficiency of better efficiency than small, but its efficiency is almost like saying it has the efficiency of a Ferrari in comparison to an electric car or something like that. Rather than an electric car being super efficient at what it does and hardly affecting the environment, the Ferrari will be doing the completely opposite. And my water. By now. It felt like a medium speed one, but that one that's just slow. Like you keep stabbing, watching the worm go past you. Never wear off that feeling of a worm going past you, even if there's no aggro. The apprehension, just in case there's like, not a bug, but you know, gamey glitch thing that the worm suddenly decides, oh well, I'm gonna eat you, and you don't even see the aggro. That's why I'm more disturbed and open. If it wasn't for the fact that there wasn't any chance of a glitch happening and it didn't do that, I'd be probably more at ease when I see them, as long as I didn't see the aggro. But I always have in the back of my mind, is it definitely not aggroed? It's definitely not going to eat me. And when I'm in situations like this, I'm more concerned with my own helicopter in some ways than I am with like just my character. Like I'd be quite happy to sacrifice my character if the ornithopter's safe, because the ornithopter's got the majority of the stuff in. And yeah, while I have some stuff on me that's a bit of a pain in the ass because I have to go and get some blueprints, especially for such as soft depth shoes and the compactor, it's still not as bad as like spending an hour or two, say, doing harvest and it all being wiped out because the ornithopter got taken out. Because yeah, you can replace the ornithopter and that's not too hard, but it's just a time factor having to replace it. Where if you obviously just use the things you have on you, yeah, it's like when I got out the reason why when I got out of the weekend it was more painful was because I had elements of the ornithopter on me. So it wasn't just going out and getting the blueprints for the it wasn't just getting the blueprints for the parts that I'd lost that I had on me, but it was also the fact that because I had like 3 components for the ornithopter on me, I lost them, which meant I had to remake them. So it's almost as bad as losing the ornithopter. Although obviously we recovered some of the ornithopter. And for those that didn't see that actual event on Saturday, effectively in Dune Awakening there are crash ships that just come out of the sky essentially. They normally spawn in certain areas, and in a deep desert there's quite a few of them that will just spawn quite often. I was flying along, minding my own business, coming back from a small spice field, and effectively I got struck by the falling ship. Now I'd heard that if a spawning ship did hit you, it would cause damage, and I'd actually heard a rumour that it wasn't just damage, it would actually destroy your ornithopter. And I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever, like, I'm sure it never happens. And you know, players have players myths and stuff like that, and I just put it down to like a player's myth, you know, people exaggerating what actually happens and stuff like that. Anyway, I got hit by one of these falling ships, and it instantly destroyed the very front area, like the cockpit area, and also the storage on the side. I didn't realise the storage on the side straight away. It wasn't until later that I realised that it destroyed that. But it destroyed 2 components anyway. It didn't destroy anything else on it, and nothing else was actually damaged. But those 2 elements that did obviously take the strike, both got just completely destroyed. And I was like, oh my god, so this the ornithopter anyway landed with what was remaining of the ornithopter, because it was all still together. It was just that it was completely black, you know, charcoaled out as if it'd been set on fire or something like that. And I was like, oh right, what am I going to do now? Like, I'm thinking straight away fastly in my head, what am I going to do? I didn't have any scout ornithopter on me, anything in a ship recovery tool or anything like that, so I had no way of getting back to my base, other than my initial thought was, well, I've got a welder on me, I could start taking it apart and trying to get it to a island or something, and then I'll pick it up later. Like, I'll just empty all my stuff and then purposely get eaten by the worm without anything on me. But I kind of suspected what would happen, that I would actually aggro a worm before I finished taking it apart, and that did happen. But my plan was that I was going to, even though that I know they've changed the mechanics, and they've changed the mechanics now, that previously you would have been able to like use your suspender belt and use the grappling hook in order to be able to get really high up and you lose the aggro, and once you lost the aggro you could lose the worm. But they changed that mechanic. Now I'd never experienced that mechanic since they've made those changes. However, when I actually did try to lose the worm, well, I wasn't actually really trying to lose the worm, I was just trying to get to an island. However, I literally went the wrong direction. If I'd gone any other direction I would have bumped into an island, but the direction I chose to go, which was towards the wall, because I just seen the wall and thought, you know what, I'm just going to head towards that because I should see something along the way, but I didn't. So by the time I had kind of realised that I wasn't probably going to get anything, I'd already lost the worm 2 times, and on the 3rd time my suspender belt was all, it was kind of moaning that it's like I didn't have enough, well, battery was moaning I didn't have enough power, and things were getting overloaded. So I was at a stage where I was desperate to see something, and I obviously didn't. So effectively I got eaten by the worm with the components that I'd actually taken off the ornithopter. But because obviously I'd gone away from the ornithopter and attracted the worm away from the ornithopter was still there. So obviously I died, and respawned back at my base in Haga Basin. Actually, tell a lie, I didn't respawn back in Haga Basin. I actually respawned here in my base in the deep desert in my out base, and that's because it just gave me some warning, so I in the end decided not to go to the Haga Basin one anyway. I should have gone to the Haga Basin one, but I was, at the time I was just in a rush to want to get back to my base, get back to a situation where I could recover the ornithopter. So effectively I kind of got back to my base in Haga Basin after getting back to my base on the wall, through going through a taxi service. And because of where I've placed my base in Haga Basin, I've placed my base in Haga Basin purposely so that if I ever did get stuck in the situation I was in, I would easily be able to get back to my base in Haga Basin without any difficulties. I'd be able to get back there like super fast, and that plan perfectly worked. So my plan of actually building a base next to one of the taxi locations, trading posts, worked like a dream and worked as designed. But effectively, cut a long story short, because I could continue going through that story the whole way, we managed to then get back to the deep desert, and effectively I had to then go through the stages of having to rebuild the components I'd lost, which I had to work out what I had and what I didn't have. So I straight away got back out in a scout ornithopter to the location where my ornithopter was, and it was still there, and then took it apart. When obviously I'm doing that, because there's so many components to a scout ornithopter, I still had to do something similar to what I did when I started taking the ornithopter apart, when I didn't have an ornithopter with me, and that was to take as much as I could do before aggroing the worm, and then when I aggroed the worm, use the other ornithopter to kind of like take me well away from where my other ornithopter was, and essentially when I was being aggroed, be on the sand but away from that other ornithopter in an attempt to kind of draw it away from the ornithopter and not eat it. However, while it didn't actually work completely, in the sense like the sandworm did actually still go over or under the other ornithopter, it didn't eat it. So it kind of worked, but at the same time, my plan of drawing it away didn't work in as well as at least it did when I was using the suspender belt and that, which obviously that time, yeah, the worm was fully aggroed on me, only going for me. That's cool. How was it in and out very fast? Not as fast towards me, but still. You don't want to be too far away from your ornithopter when they it's worse when they breach right on top of you. Like, I've been lucky this week. I haven't had any of them that breached right on top of me. Last week I had one that was fast moving and it breached right on top of me. So it was up and down, but I seen it breach right on top of me and I was like, oh my god. Luckily I was like pretty much on top of my only ornithopter, so I managed to get away, but it kind of reminded me that, yeah, you need to make sure that you don't go too far away from an ornithopter, because you're the likelihood of you getting into it and surviving when it breaches right on top of you, like it breaches that close that it would breach right on top of where that mound is there, and it would fall directly into the like spice sand. That's how close it breaches. It can breach. And those ones are pretty scary as to whether or not you're gonna get out without being eaten.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Damn. 2 hours away. Oh, it's that one. I'm not worried about that one. That's the Coriolis event. So that's the event that essentially our stream is based on this week. Effectively, last week we lost our deep desert base because Lou forgot to take it down. It's a very unforgiving storm, and if you don't take it down, you lose everything that is in the base. Now, I was actually lucky, which I only found out on Thursday when I was live in the stream, that if you loaded anything into your ornithopter, that when you recover your ornithopter through the recovery tool, you'll still get back the stuff in your ornithopter that you had. But I didn't realise that and I'd already planned to use this as content essentially for the stream this week to see how long it takes if you were to have to go back through the whole ligament of having to get everything back up again because you've lost all your spice and lounge and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing this week. That's why I've got a medium spice refiner at the moment, which is an upgrade from the small that we started off with. And same with metal as well. We've had to start getting back the high tier metals because obviously all that got lost pretty much. So this week is the week of finding out how much time would it take the average player with some sort of a good level of experience to recover. Like, I wouldn't call myself the average player, I'm above average, but I'm trying to put a lot of scenarios in place that should give a good reflection of what it would take the average player in hours. So we have got a timer that's being run, and as we're doing this, that timer is ticking. Now it would normally be on the screen now, but unfortunately we don't normally stream Dune Awakening on a on a Monday, and the only reason why it's being streamed today is because of problems I had with GTA. I couldn't get the game to connect to their servers for whatever reason, and I'm not sure what exactly is going on with that, but that's something I'll troubleshoot offline. So today, you're just seeing literally something I quickly knocked together while I was live on stream and connected it up so that everyone could watch me play Dune. But normally I play this under a different profile, so it has loads of UI around it, which is all around like Dune Awakening, and all that stuff's missing, which includes obviously the timer. So we started on about 11 hours at the very start of the stream. I think we're about an hour into our stream according to my stream monitor, so we would have added an hour to what we've spent so far. So we've actually, you know, I did predict that this wouldn't take a huge amount of hours to recover. I'm not saying that we're like massively ahead of where I was expecting to be, but I think we are doing well and in line with where I was expecting to be. I do think my expectations will get a bit further away from probably reality later on, because I'm thinking it's probably not going to slow that down that much with doing when we get to the other stuff, and I'm expecting things to actually speed up. Now I could find in reality that things don't speed up anymore and things do grind on, and it doesn't get much faster than what we're going at the moment. Like, I predict that once we start to get the large spice refiner back again and we can start making spice melange more, well, fully efficiently, and once we also then get the large ore refiner, then the same will happen with the metal as well. Obviously we do need to get them, and they do require a lot to get them first, so we are going to be doing a bit of hickory pokery in the sense of we will be making things and like destroying them and replacing them with other things in order to have some of these bigger kind of refineries, but not all at once, until we get to the stage where we've got enough spice melange and we've got enough of the plastatium metal to have them all. But at the moment it'll be a case of like, well, if we're doing spice mining and we've got the spice melange for the large spice refiner, then we'll have that built and that like processing the spice. But the next thing that we'll get before we get that anyway, just because you need tons of spice melange for the large spice refiner, is the large ore refinery. So we're building that first because we only need 200 spice melange for that. And as soon as we get that, then I'm probably going to turn my attention from spice to metal, and then get all the metal that we need to do all of what we need. So that means going around the wall, getting all of the Stradian metal ore that we need, and also the titanium ore that will make that profanity metal. So we've got quite a journey yet to go. I've got an idea of, I think, what is the most efficient way of doing this. And at the end of the day, all of this will be created and be made into a YouTube video that will explain to players how you do this. I'll storyline it, so it'll be more like you, if you have or haven't watched Rust, there are quite a few players that do kind of like a story mode, kind of like they set an objective of what they're going to do, the video is going to be about, and then they'll like explain like how they're going to do this base that, I don't know, a solo against a clan, or a solo lives below a clan, or I made the first cloud base, that type of thing. So I'm going to do one like that, but based on what happens if you get, you know, you lose all your stuff to the Coriolis storm and you have to restart from scratch. And I'm going to storyline it. So I've still got to work out how to do that, and hopefully I can come up with something that is good content. So you're obviously watching all the live stuff, and this has all been recorded in high definition, which YouTube is the highest definition that I do stream, and it is pretty good high definition. But if you watch the true high definition from the actual recording, you'll notice that it's even, you know, an even greater level of like immersion and graphical content, and that's effectively what you'll see on there. Hi Julia, hope you're having a nice day. Thank you for the follow. So we are, I think, probably very close now to being full in this one. Almost forgot the water. As usual. The storage is full now in the helicopter, so my backpack's full as well. Did I not realise that that's full and I'm full? Oh, I hate wasting spice saft. And we've wasted it. There's no way I'm going to pick that up. We've pretty much done the whole of that field, to be fair. I swear, like last week when I was doing the medium fields, that I only got through about half the field and my ornithopter was filling up. And I would come back and I'd then do the other half. This week it feels like I'm pretty much doing the whole field, yet the ornithopter doesn't fill as fast. I don't know. Weird. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to watch back the videos from last week. I'm pretty sure they're not right. Something's not right here. This week feels different than last week. Why is one of my wings more damaged than the others? That's probably from when we got hit by the falling ship weekend. Because one of them's more damaged than the other. It does make sense why it is, but probably the one that got struck. Because one of the other ones is a bit more damaged. It probably shows the where we got hit, because we got hit like at the front to one side. So that's probably the wing that was on the right hand side of the front. I'll put all of this on the video that I do on YouTube, but yeah, interesting. I watched back the video, and it's like one of those things that when you watch it a second time and you're not actually in the event, you're more aware of what was going on. And I was like, why didn't I use my suspender belt? Because I actually died when I hit the ground, but I think when it actually happened to me, I was just in that much shock that I didn't know what to do, and I just froze rather than actually react. So I kind of just like watched my character hit the ground, and I was like, when I was watching it back, I was like, why didn't you just suspend about it? I suppose it's easy in hindsight, but yeah, it's just so funny. And also like the actual ship itself as well. It's like I seen it on the replay. I seen the actual ship that hit the ornithopter away in the distance. It was like above. It was like say up there, way in the distance, and you could see it about a minute and a half before the event actually happened. Which makes me now be a lot more kind of aware now things are above me and to keep scan, because yeah, I would have, like, to be fair, I would, even before that event happened, I wouldn't have thought too much about it. Like, you see something in the distance is falling, you don't think that you're gonna like fall into its trajectory. However, obviously that's what happened, and yeah, now it's kind of like, okay, now I need to know what I need to be aware of so that that doesn't happen again. I know I should mitigate that and have like a scout ornithopter in my recovery tool, which I don't have at this very second, because I forgot to zap it before I left. But should have that, just so that if anything like that happens again, you've got your backup, so that you can, you know, recover your vehicle straight away rather than be eaten by a worm, lose more stuff, set yourself back, and also lose a load of stuff in the helicopter because you tried taking it apart in the sand. There's kind of loads of lessons I learned from all of this at the weekend, but yeah, that set me back about 5 hours before I could get back to carrying on this story, which is the recovery from the Coriolis event last week. And I did remove that from the timer as well, so the 11 hours doesn't include the 5 hours I wasted having to fix that. But oh well, we learn from these things and we move on. All I would say is, if you had been a normal player and that had happened to you and you weren't streaming and stuff like that, like I everything that's happened to me over the last week, I've just seen, oh well, that's content. And I've seen it as I've embraced it rather than kind of what you would see some players do, and that's like rage quit. Like, I could have easily rage quit, probably easily rage quit, was just the desert thing. But with the event after happening with the ship as well, and with what happened with that after the Coriolis event, yeah, I've got to admit myself, like, had I not been streaming this, I probably would have seen it in a completely different light, and I would have been way more devastated. So we'll drop this off. We've got plenty of water, so we should be able to start getting all of this stuff now fine. I'm probably not going to go back to do the rest of the field. Depends how much sand we have there. The thing is, we don't have the large refiner, so realistically speaking, I don't have to worry about having to do a large batch. The main reason with the large compactor is that I always think of like having to have 10,000 units. So if I have 17, I always want to then go out to get the extra 3,000 to get the next batch on. Where this medium one, the batches are so small that, well, it doesn't force you in some ways to go back out, which is a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. But actually, I could. Do I have any? I don't think I have any spare spice bombs, do I? Or do I? Actually, I will have. I'm thinking of placing down a large box, just because it'll just make it a bit easier to move the sand into. Just need somewhere big, enough space to put it somewhere. Might have to move this. Oh, and I need to get the building tool. That's what you need, building anything. over a little bit. Actually, move it this direction. Trying to squeeze it in between. Get in there. Oh, I don't have enough profanity in there. Can always put some in. You can dig through one. How many do you do? 15. I don't want to do too many because I want to try and keep stuff back from the sand. Although actually I do need to do... I think the sand's probably harder to take back and it'll take up more volume. So it's definitely best to get the spice sand converted into spice melange. The titanium is quite heavy, but it'll take up less space per volume when in its raw form in comparison to spice melange, which will go from a ridiculous amount of volume down to a much smaller volume when it's in spice melange. That much so that you can take the whole stack of 500 spice melange and put it on yourself in your own backpack, which you wouldn't be able to even do that in an ornithopter in its raw form. About to get another body in actually. Oh, my body's not in there. There should be 2 half cooked and then I should be able to place this. Not quite yet. Place it in a minute. That's on, so I can't do that yet. Let's turn that off. That's using the spice sand we already had that we put in the other container. Platinum's normally, well, it's not super faster to sort of do, but faster than, well, to me sometimes it feels faster than it does the aluminium, but I suppose it is quite a bit slower. Like what I take into account is the fact that you have to do this stradium as well, which if you add that together along with doing the other thing, it's obviously a lot larger, but normally off it just its raw itself, it's about the same. Well, actually I'd say a little bit faster maybe, I don't know, maybe it's slower. It's probably slower. It's because I want it to go faster. Let's put that body in. Spice should have used up hopefully enough to drop that. Yeah. I've only got one more body, so that's the last of the bodies. Hopefully we've got enough bodies to do this, all the spice sand we've got. Hopefully it used all the spice melange or spice sand that was in this box that I put in, which it has. That's cool. Oh yeah, one thing while I remember, which I haven't thought of until now. So I mentioned the other day, obviously when I did get eaten by the worm, I've mentioned that you can get the worm tooth, and it's not a guarantee, but it's a chance that you get one when you get eaten by a worm. Now you can use this to craft a weapon. It's a really powerful dagger. In some ways it's an overpowerful dagger because the DPS stats on it are ridiculous, and you can get this crafted recipe really early on in the game as well. So I was trying to work out yesterday where it was, I couldn't remember where it was on stream, but then later on I had a quick look and I found where it was. I can't remember what it's called now. That's it. The crystal knife. So this is it. So this is the worm's tooth and a plant fiber. So when you get this recipe for the crystal knife, this is the one that I was on about, where until you actually create the knife, this actual worm tooth will be stuck in your inventory slot. So try and keep it until you get this recipe. But when you do get the recipe, then all you need on top of that is a plant fiber. And I thought, rather than actually make it yesterday and just show you what you get, I thought, why not wait until we have the stream and then I'll show you what it is and what the recipe is as well. So it is the unfixed crystal knife, and these are it. And you simply don't even need a fabricator for it. Just need those ingredients, and then once you do that, you get this. And then that's the knife. So this, if you notice, it also says, like it does before, this can't leave this person. So unfortunately you can't, and you still, when you've got it in your backpack and you're trying to offload it, you'll find that you still won't be able to get rid of it. It will permanently be on you. However, if you look at the stats of this knife, the stats are really nice. So the DPS on that knife, if you've got, what you've got to really consider, I think, for this is the fact that this knife you can get at pretty much the starter zone level area, in the sense like you don't have to be far or even medium part of the game. All you need to get hold of is the recipe, and once you've got hold of that, then this becomes sort of like a no-brainer. Now the only problem with it is you'll notice it does mention, I think somewhere it mentions it's brittle. Oh yeah, there it is. It says the sandworm's tooth is very brittle. Now I've never used this knife, however it could be very much like the other knife that we had the other day, which was the Zolman's knife, the guy that you do a mission for to kill for £1 million. When you, and spoiler alert, so if you don't want to know about what happens about the storyline, stop now, close your ears, do whatever you want to do. But when you kill him, you effectively get a dagger. Now that dagger has very similar stats to that knife, just that it's called the Zalgriff knife. Now one thing I would say is that when I used that knife broke literally after stabbing a person twice and killing them, which I thought was a bit weird at the time, but I'm wondering whether it is the same knife, just that it's called after him rather than being that knife, because that knife seemed to be very brittle in the sense that it had zero durability. It literally, the knife went from being usable with 100% health to literally being destroyed. Well, not destroyed, it you know, you get the full repair like symbol on there, and where you'd normally see the damage just go down, it literally went from that to unusable, and you can't repair it either. That's what I went to do. So I thought, oh, maybe I could repair it and see whether or not it does it the same next time. And you can't repair it because you don't have the recipe for it, and because you don't have the recipe for it, because that's how Doom works, you can't repair what you don't know how to make. Effectively is how their methodology on that works, I guess, which is again a bit annoying and something I found annoying in the past, but it is what it is, and you just have to kind of live with it, I guess. Now I've got a big container, I can move all the spice hand in here. As a midpoint, a lot easier, because those small boxes, I couldn't fit them all into one box, but now they've also got metal in as well, so it's starting to get really tight to put like things with high volume in. It'll just help. And obviously we're taking the base down in a bit, so it's only short term anyway. We won't stay like that. As soon as we need the resources that make that box for something else, it'll be gone. Until we have the resources back to make it again. And it's going to be the same for all the other stuff as well. It's going to be like, we're going to move up to the highest tier refiners and stuff like that as soon as we've got the stuff to be able to do it. And at the moment, to move on to that large metal refiner, we need 200 melange. So that's why I'm concentrating on the melange first, because I want to get as much of the melange as we need for it. Then I'll get the minimum amount of metal that we need to make it, which we might already have actually, because this medium thing obviously takes up a certain amount of it. So as soon as we've got that, then we can build the big ore refiner and effectively mine and then refine all of that ore at its best efficiency. And then as soon as we've got all of the metal that we need, we can then destroy that and then concentrate back on getting on the spice stuff and doing again the spice stuff. So then we get just enough melange, the 500 melange target that we need to build the large spice refinery, and then we'll build the large spice refinery, and then we'll hammer all of the spice melange we need until we get to the point where we've got enough spice melange, and then we'll knock down the because we'll have all the metal, so by that point we'll literally be able to build everything, or we should be able to, and that's the plan. Reality, well, we'll see, but that's what we're aiming towards at this very moment, and that's what I believe will be the fastest way to recover, based on with efficiency and everything else in play. As you can tell, even these small ones take a while to do. So far we've got 80 melange in here. That's what we got from yesterday's medium spice run. Let's see how much I can put in now. I think we're going to be limited by water. It's going to be our biggest problem. It normally is. So we can put another 8 in. That'll give us 80 because you get 10 out for every run you do on a medium, which has a 25% better efficiency rate than it does for the small, but it's not like a halfway point between the small and the large. So it's still very inefficient at this stage with regards to putting this through, which is why I only want to do the minimums of each thing, so that we can effectively always concentrate and not overcook stuff at a lower efficiency than we need to. So this is going to 80 or 8 will take a while to do. We're short on the sand there. Oh, actually water. That's what we're short on, water. We can do another, well, at least another 7 runs. Oh, I think we'll have enough to do the large metal thing. We just need more water. We'll have some more water that are dropping a bit. Like how they look very close to being done. 11 minutes. I wonder if we can get some more bodies. These take an hour to process though, that's the only thing. How much sand have we still got in here? Yeah, we still have a lot. How much water do we need to do that? We can check that by... Oh, well normally we can check that. Each one is going to use 5,000 something, so 5,000 will do... Well, 5 is 25. Then we get 25 out of the stiff still, isn't it? Tell me. Somewhere it tells me. I'm not going blind. Pretty sure it's 25. I'm literally going blind. Where did it say? Oh, it says on this screen, but I just can't see it. Well, you have to just take my word for it. I'm pretty sure these are 20 or 25 they drop each time. I'm pretty sure it's 20 or 25. It's 25, 20. Why does it not tell me? Where's it gone? Anyway, if it's 20, we've still got enough. If it's 25, that's even better. We should get between 75 and 60. Either will give us enough water to do the rest of the spice sand we've got here. And the spice sand we've got here, and by the time we get the other, by the time that stuff drops, we should have all of what we need to get the large metal refinery going, which is what we want, so that we can get metal going better. I just realised actually that's probably why I didn't make the metal before, is because I'm trying not to make anything other than what's vitally needed, and I've obviously just made that, which to be fair it makes it helpful, so I should probably do it, but I'm trying to avoid doing stuff like this, in the sense of building stuff that I don't critically need, because I'm having to obviously process more metal. Until I wanted to wait until I got the large ore refinery, so that I'm not making stuff at a lower efficiency than I need to. I should have waited. I call it scrap, and I know it's not scrap. It's because I watch Rust videos. No, all the YouTubers that play Rust, because in that game it is called scrap. They keep calling it scrap. So when it's salvaged metal in this game, I always refer to it as scrap, because it's the same thing. It's the lowest amino building craftable item that you need in order to build stuff with. So I always call it scrap, even though it's not scrap. Wondering why I'm making these, mainly for this. So the little trick to this, if you want things to go into certain containers, you can do what I'm about to do now, and it forces it to put things into different containers that you've set up. Just need to change this container to 1 to 2. So input 2. And then this stuff will have to drop into 2, so the output, I don't know what it is. So that's full. So what happens when this is full is it will always try to put it in a container that's on the same circuit. Because I've only got one container on circuit 2 that has the input 2, it will then put the spice melange straight into the other container. This allows you to control where stuff is. And it's better when you're trying to like build loads of stuff and you've got loads of things going off and that you're building on loads of different things, if you have all of the outputs just go into one container, because then it means you can go to that one container and you know what you've got, rather than having to go to each fabricator or each piece of machinery or utility and work out what you have and what you haven't got. So this allows you just to see inputs and outputs. Like I generally have an input box and an output box, so and a processing box. So like I have one that's raw materials, then one that's been processed materials, and then like an make, you know, your main kind of I don't know what you call it, goods box, things like clothing or your weapons that come out, like spice melons that will come out, because it's an end product rather than like a component product. If I put them here, then it'll stack these until these have been finished stacking. Like that'll overstack, but these won't. That can stack up to 500. That's the maximum stack of that, and I won't be getting near that today. Hopefully I get to 200. I should get over to 200. I think we've got 8 in the go at the moment, and we've got enough spice melange to make, or to do at least another 8 cycles, maybe 9. I don't know. Should get a calculator out, shouldn't I? Stop being lazy. There's my calculator. $7,800 divided by 750. Come on, you dumbass. Not the numbers lock. So why is it not registering the buttons? Oh, 9.84. So I'll be able to do 9. So that'd be 90 on top of 80. Yeah, we'll be short of a bit. We can go out and get some more spice island. How much water do we need though? So, oh, it's 7,000 as well. Oh, maybe we're quite tight on water. I think we leave the spice island for now. We'll be very close though. Tomorrow we'll be able to set the outpost back up again, which will only take us about half an hour. Unlike this week where we had to prepare for it and get some of the materials again before we could build the base. This time we will have everything though, because we will be decompacting all of this, taking it back to Hacker Basin, waiting for the storm to go, and then we can come back out and set everything back up. We'll be doing that in the afternoon tomorrow because I'm off work all week, so yes, we can stream all week, all day, all night. The only reason why we're doing today is because of stuff. I've had a lot of stuff. Well, let's just say last night I didn't go to bed, or should I say this morning, I didn't go to bed until like 6, almost 6 o'clock or 6 a.m. this morning, because I was up all night playing EVE Online, because we were taking out a Fortizar in tie-dye, and it just takes hours. Like, it took the best part of 6 hours. So I didn't go to bed till really late, or early in the morning, however you want to refer to it as. So that meant I didn't get up until about almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then by the time I did get up, then I had stuff I needed to do during the day, and then by the time I've done all of those little things, it's like quite late. So I decided to do a little bit more stuff in EVE, and then I was going to just do the stream at the normal time, 8 o'clock, but then I had some problems trying to get the streams up, so that took a bit of time, and then we had the problem with GTA not wanting to work, so then we switched from GTA and came into Dune Awakening, and that's where we are now. So it's, as usual, eventful, always having to do something, just try and get things to play game. I can't take the base down until all this stuff finishes, so we're stuck here for a while. Where's my... I know the games like Crows or not responding. Why is the game not responding? Interesting. I'm literally frozen. Not responding whatsoever. Might have to just stop the game for a second. Go away, do something else. Click on it. And it's not registering anything. No input. Okay, we're gonna have to force the game closed. Dude, why are you being painful? I'm glad this didn't happen while we were out for spice mining. Not spice harvesting, should I say. That would not be good. I think this is a task manager, end task. Kill Dune. What's weird is that you can see everything. It's almost like something's happening, but I can't see it. But there's no message windows or anything. Well, I don't know. We'll end task. Okay, I'll restart it in a second. I don't know if that's better than a crash or worse than a crash. Kind of like a crash, but not a crash. Like, I hate the game having critical crashes because it means the game's unstable, but then it's what we've just experienced where the game completely freezes and you can still see the game they play. Like, I could still see the spice being, doing its stuff, but I couldn't actually do anything. It was like not registering my mouse. It wasn't, none of the keys or anything were working. It's just like, it's like the game froze but didn't freeze. It froze but we couldn't do anything. Like, you're paralyzed.
I dream of it.
I am getting distracted by someone else. I was just like doing some other stuff while I was waiting for it to load. Doing its shader things. Atreides have won. Atreides win every week on my server. Mainly because there's hardly any of us Harkonnens. It was never very strong for Harkonnens, but we did put up a fight, used to. Where now, since other players have dropped off, pretty much on this server, everyone seems to be Atreides. Very few of us Harkonnen players around. Oh, I think they've dropped. We should be able to do the rest of the sound, or at least put them in. So 7 more. Still 2,000 sand. Still got one more to drop though, which is that one. So that'll be ready in 30 minutes. That'll give us 25. Whenever I work out whatever it is we get, but 20 or 25, that'll still give us enough to get the 2 out of it that we need. So that's 30 we've got in there. Jobs, so 14. So 14 added onto. Oh, we will have enough because we've got 100 spice melange here, so that'll put us on to 240 spice melange. We'll have enough to make the large metal refiner. So that means that when we take the base down later, we'll effectively be in a situation where when we put the base back up tomorrow afternoon, we'll then be able to go straight onto going around the wall and getting all the metal, and then coming back and putting it into production. I think the first thing I'll do though, probably in the morning, is I'll probably go and get as many bodies as I can get in the local area, so that we can probably do a run with just bodies in the assault helicopter, so that we've got plenty of bodies, because the thing is with that metal is it almost drinks water, so we really do need to get as much water as we can on the go. I think what I'll also do is I'll also bring the other deathbeds we've got in Hager Basin as well. So because the resource is double, and I've got two deathbeds back at the base, and it won't matter too much them having none, because I've got quite a lot of water storage there at the moment, enough to keep that base operating, and I won't need the water there like I did at the very start of this week. So if we bring them back here, we can double our deathbeds, and if I also decompile a couple more of the storage things, then we can put a load more of these. We can like double this as well, and we'll have plenty of water capacity, so that we can push through as much as we can on production and get things moving as fast as possible with regards to the refining and stuff like that, so we can keep refining going all the time, because it's really hard to keep the refining going all the time and you don't have a good, I say, reservoir of water, like storage of water, because when you're doing all the high tier stuff, you're just so kind of like reliant on the water and stuff like that. And even when you've got like 400,000 kind of units in your base, it doesn't last long as soon as you're going through the high level refining. So to try and mitigate that as much as we can, we'll try and double our current capacity for water and water production, so that it tries to help us as much as we can to speed that up. I suppose this approach is leaning more towards the more experienced extreme gamer than it is the average gamer, but I'm showing you what you can do in order to, get there as fast as you can, or at least within a reasonable way. Like, I'm going as fast as I can. Like, there are other things I could have done that might have sped things up a little bit, but I think this still keeps things within the reach of the average gamer and player. So obviously let me know in the comments if you disagree and you want me to slow down and you think I'm taking too much of a lean towards a more veteran player, or a person who doesn't take it as serious as I'm trying to kind of go towards, like that level playing field of not too slow, that obviously a person who wants to take their time, or not too fast for the person that's constantly heavily pushing it. But I think I'm kind of aiming for the middle road, but in a way that still says, this is how fast you can do it, to give people a good idea of like the pain and obviously what you need to do and what you need to think about when you're at all these different stages as such. Probably gonna have to make 2 YouTube videos, one that kind of takes everyone through the steps of what you do, and then another one that I really want to do is I do really want to try my hand at doing a bit of narrating and storytelling, which, you know, I'm not saying I'm a storyteller, but I reckon I wouldn't be like too bad at the story narration, and that's why I would like to have a go at, just to see whether my creative talents cover storytelling in a way that's, you know, engaging and people like and want to consume. So this is obviously going to take a while, and obviously I'm just going to keep the stream up for no reason. So I think what we'll do is we'll call it here for now. I'll start up a stream in the morning whenever I decide to wake up, because I'm not too sure what's going on tonight in the eve. So there is a slight chance I might end up staying up a little bit later than what I would ideally want to, because I do want to try and get my body clock back to the UK time zone, because at the moment it's American time zone. So I'm hoping to try and get an early night tonight if I can, and then be able to pick this up in the morning at some point. But we'll see what happens. It'll either be late morning or sort of early afternoon, but we'll kick up the stream, and then we'll we definitely will be rebuilding this base. Obviously you won't see me taking it down now, but that will be done after this spice is finished doing its stuff. And then once we've got the base back up, we'll start doing all of the ore kind of gathering and refining and stuff. So thank you very much. Hope you have a good evening. If you obviously do love the content, then do consider subscribing or following, depending on what platform you're actually on. But for now, we'll call it there. Thank you very much, and good evening and good night.